Hi, I'm doing a relationship series and I want to tell you how you can build strong relationships, how you can improve your relationship with your partner and keep it on an upward trajectory. Relationship, as we know, is a coming together of two or more people for a common goal. It can be for business, for contracts, but for the purpose of this lecture is going to be for love and marriage. So that's where I'll be dwelling on. Now, in this relationship type, I've come to find out that there's a common mistake we normally make, a common error which we do make when it comes to relationships. We think that relationship is all about how we relate with our partners. We think it ends there, how we relate with our partner. So anytime we are having issues in a relationship and we go to a counselor, the next thing they will be asking us is things like, how do you relate with your partner? Do you love each other? Do you trust each other? Do you understand each other? Things like that. Your relationship, your interpersonal relationship. But what about asking questions like, how do you relate with yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you understand yourself? I think that is the missing link. I think that's the fundamental of every relationship. Your relationship with yourself first before your relationship with your partner. It's like a child who didn't go to primary school and then you take him to a secondary school, he's definitely going to struggle. And then when he fails one school, you move him to another secondary school, and then he eventually fails again, you move him to a third one, he will continue to fail until he takes care of the fundamental, which is going to primary school. After which, if you move him to any secondary school, most likely he will pass, irrespective of the school. So that's how it is. Many of us that find it difficult to maintain a relationship or to have a strong relationship, then we jump from one to another thinking that this is the problem, this guy is not cool, is this, is that. We move to another one, we move to a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one. It might be an endless journey until we take care of the fundamental. So the first thing, the first aspect of building a strong relationship is your relationship with yourself. Now let me go to your relationship with yourself. The first step is that you need to know yourself. Do your SWOT analysis, know your strengths, your weaknesses, know your deficiencies, your shortcomings. Then you need to accept yourself. And then you need to love yourself. You must love yourself before you can be able to love someone else. If you don't love yourself, how can you love someone? How can you give what you don't have? Now, the extent to which you love yourself determine the extent to which you can love other person. It flows from the inside. It's an internal thing. So the first step in building a strong relationship is your duty to yourself, which number one is for you to know yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself. Then the second step is for you to work on yourself, for you to build yourself. You've known your weaknesses, your deficiencies. You need to work on them. You don't know your weaknesses and then you say, hey, you got to love me for who I am. Nobody loves nonsense. Sorry. So you need to work on yourself. You need to build on your strengths. You need to work on your weaknesses. You need to keep on improving yourself by the day. So when you keep on working on yourself, it's going to help you. You develop value. You build substance so that you can have a competitive advantage. When you don't have something that everybody else don't have, it becomes difficult. But when you have something that everyone else don't have, you become very valuable. And then that is when you become almost indispensable. So you have to work on yourself. Work on your potentials, work on your values, work on your principles, work on yourself to be a better person. So when you've worked on yourself, the third thing you need to do for yourself, your duty for yourself, is to believe in yourself, is to believe in your abilities, to have confidence in yourself. As you're having confidence in yourself, you start respecting yourself. You develop that self-respect so that you can be able to command external respect. You have confidence in yourself so that you can be able to command external confidence, so that people can have confidence in you. When you build your self-confidence, your self-respect, and a strong belief in yourself, then you start to develop a high level of self-esteem, self-worth, self-image. You become confidence within you. You become confident enough. And then your self-esteem improves. Because if you don't have a good self-esteem, if you suffer from inferiority complex in a relationship, it's going to hurt you. It's going to expose you to unnecessary stress, tension, which can harm the relationship. Because it's going to affect your trust system, your confidence in your partner. It's going to affect all of them. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to, by having a bad mood, you create a negative environment. So you must build your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-image, self-confidence. All of them must be in top notch. So that one day your partner might not just come home, maybe he didn't smile that day as usual, and then your heart begins to race. And then you begin to ask yourself, why didn't he smile today? Why is he not smiling? What have I done wrong? What did I do? Am I sure this relationship is still going to continue? You start feeling somehow, you start feeling maybe moody. It affects the relationship. My sister, you haven't done anything wrong. He's not just smiling. Maybe the next day he comes home smiling right from the gates. He keeps smiling. Comes inside and he's still smiling. If you don't have good self-confidence and self-esteem, you are still going to ask yourself, why is he smiling? He's smiling too much today. This is not how he used to smile. He smiles too much. What have I done? Has he seen someone better than me? Has he met someone else? Am I sure that he's not going to give me a bad news? That's low self-esteem. He hasn't met someone better. You are the best. So if he smiles too much or he doesn't smile enough, no problem. No problem. The relationship is still there, is still strong. So that's why you need to develop good enough self-worth, self-image, self-confidence, self-belief, self-esteem. It's going to help you. It's going to cement your relationship. Now, when you have done this, you've come to love yourself, you've come to know yourself, you have built your self-esteem, you believe in yourself, your abilities. It's going to help you to understand yourself and every other thing, your relationship with yourself. Now, moving to the next step, which is a relationship with your spouse, your partner. I just want to pick something, just one attribute, one thing, and that is forgiveness. Of course, communication matters, love, understanding, all the rest, but forgiveness. Now, it's not your everyday kind of forgiveness, it's not your normal forgiveness. When someone does you wrong, you have to forgive. No. I want to tell you a special kind of forgiveness that is going to boost your relationship and make it as strong as ever. And that is forgiveness in advance. Yes, you need to be willing and able. You need to be ready to forgive your partner, even in advance, even before he commits the crime. Very important. Yeah, sounds crazy, but that's the key. That's the key. And how do you do that? You need to be able to give excuses for their faults. Excuses for their faults. So it makes you solution-oriented rather than blowing the problem exaggerating the situation, worsening the situation. You are looking for the solution. You give excuse. Like when you hear a bad report about your partner, what comes to mind? The first thing that will come to your mind is, oh, why would we make such a mistake? I mean, is it that he's restless? Is it that he was too stressed up at work that made him make such a mistake? Oh, come on. I gotta call him. Let me find out. This is unlike him. This is not him. I know he wouldn't do such. Maybe something must have happened. So you're actually trying to look for a way out. So by the time you call, oh, why did it happen? Okay, oh, sorry. Oh, maybe next time we should be able to do like this so that something like this won't happen again to prevent recurrence. So you are solution oriented. It's not when you hear a bad report, then the first thing is, wow, I know, I saw it coming. I know it's going to happen. In fact, it has been happening before. Is it because I was lucky to find out today? Who knows how many times it does happen every day. I've been suspecting. You see, you're already building a mansion out of a molehill. You're already blowing it up. That's not forgiveness. That's not the forgiveness I mean. You might say, okay, yes, you've done it, Abby. You start looking for how to do your own, how to retaliate. You start looking for, okay, I'm going to do mine, at least to balance the equation. That's actually low self-esteem. By the time you have worked on yourself enough, you begin to see the good in every situation, no matter how tiny it is. You magnify the good and you shrink the bad. You look for solutions, what to do to prevent recurrence. You ask questions, you communicate. What happened? Why did it happen? It shouldn't happen again. What do we do to prevent it from happening again? So that's it. So by the time you have worked on yourself and you have learned the art of forgiving in advance for your partner, for your spouse, then I'm going to assure you that all things being equal, your relationship is going to grow. It's going to be at an upward trajectory. You'll be able to walk hand in hand well, and you're going to grow and grow and grow. I'll see you again, and I'll be telling you about other factors, other important things you need to build a strong relationship. Things like how to communicate effectively, communication, understanding, and then other things. So, thank you very much.